YouTube live stream is now started. Today we're going to be drawing the 7140 International. It's Magnum series. Pretty excited for this tractor actually. It's a big four-wheel drive, kind of a classic four-wheel drive tractor. I'm excited for this. I've got another one I started the other day that we're going to be doing. It's a John Deere. We're going to kind of pair them up side by side a little bit here and see which one gets the best. So anyway, this is the tractor we're drawing, 7140 International, and let me go ahead and get this going. So this is the outline. I got this done off screen. It's kind of boring to watch. It takes a little bit of time, so I'm going to go ahead and cover up part of it. What's up, Tractor Lover 459? Thanks for joining. Rigged Farm Shit just joined. How you doing? Thanks for the likes there, Tractor Lover. If you're on TikTok watching me, I'll try to interact, but I'm also interacting with my YouTube folks over here on my YouTube live stream. So feel free to join either way. The YouTube has a better view because, of course, it's got the top-down camera. I would do the same thing on TikTok, but they don't allow me. So that's where we're going. All right, so today I'm going to be starting with a General's pencil kit. I'm working with this, so this is what I'm working with. They don't sponsor me yet. They'll probably throw some affiliate links in so you can buy them and make me some money in the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started on these tires. I'm going to grab a white charcoal pencil. Now this isn't the charcoal pencil. This is a pastel pencil that comes. The one that comes in the kit's good, but it's not as good. What's up? Total 66 Beast Official. Thanks. I'm going to jump over to YouTube and say, all right, you jump over to YouTube. All right, here we go. We're going to start. I'm starting just adding in some highlights, some places that I see them. And this is a pretty difficult set of tires, I'll be honest, to draw. There's a lot going on in these tires. They're not the sharpest tires, and I think there's two different types of tread. The inside treads are a little bit more bald, so I'm hoping I can make that look all right, even knowing what I got going on there. So we're going to try and see what we can come up with for that. Otherwise, this is a good picture. Also, this picture was pretty dark when I got a hold of it. And normally, I don't even look at dark pictures because they're difficult. But I really like this tractor. I really wanted to draw it. So that's what we got. Love your vids. Keep them up. Thank you very much. What's up, Total B66? I see you over there on YouTube. Thanks for joining. The thing is, if I shout you out on YouTube, that's going to be around forever because I keep those YouTube streams going. They stay up after a long time. So far I haven't taken any down because I haven't really failed miserably at anything. So not for lack of trying though. Alright, so I'm exaggerating the highlight on these because these tires, like I said, there's not a lot going on there. It's all different shades of gray. Normally on tires you get some deep blacks, you get some real bright whites, and I'm not seeing that here, so we're going to have to exaggerate what we do see just a little bit to get it to work out. Also, this week I've got a pulling tractor to work on. An interesting little side note, I've been looking for a pulling tractor to draw, and I haven't specifically asked for a pulling tractor because if you ask for something, you get like 4,000 of them. So I haven't yet. But I've been thinking about it because I haven't got a lot of pulling tractors sent to me. And while I was looking for that, I had a message come in on Instagram DM from one of the members of Beer Money Pulling Team. They're like, hey, can you draw my tractor? I'm like, well, shoot. Don't get much bigger, at least social media wise, than Beer Money Pulling Team. So, yeah, of course I'll draw it. So, I'm going to be drawing that here this week. Move this over a little bit. Alright, I do see a little bit of a white highlight right here that's a little brighter than everything else. So I'm really bearing down on that one a little bit. Try to get some white pigment in there. And the rest of this is just kind of not much. So if you're always joining me over on YouTube, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. And could you draw my profile picture next? DM me on Instagram if you want me to draw something. It's really tough for me to keep up with what people ask me in a live. But if you don't have Instagram, tag me in a video or just say something in one of my TikTok videos or on YouTube, and we'll go from there. If you comment on my YouTube, that'll get my attention too, because that's a smaller platform. I don't have a ton of people over there yet. So pretty much I read every comment that comes in. I try to read the comments that come in on TikTok too, but there's so many of them, sometimes they fall through the cracks. But my YouTube's still pretty small. We're growing daily, hourly, weekly. I mean, we're growing faster than I dreamed we would, which is cool. Hi there, Twisted1212. Thanks for joining over on my YouTube live stream. Sup, Clayton? Is that Couser? I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Alright. I've got a couple different pencils here to pick from. I'm going to be starting with a 2B, which is a little bit harder than I normally work with. That's what she said. And it's a little bit harder charcoal, so it makes a darker picture. I'll DM on Instagram. Great. I'll check that once I get off of this live stream. I get tons of messages over there on Instagram. I've been trying to reply to all of them. I really have. There's just so many of them. There really is. So many Instagram messages, especially this week. And I've been asking for it, so I don't mind it at all. And honestly, it's grown my Instagram account too, so win-win. Win-win-win-win. Kind of interested to see how this tractor is going to turn out. These tires, like I said, they're such a big focal point. There's so little in them to work with. I'm trying. We'll see what happens. I have no doubt I can pull something off. I just don't know how good I'll be able to pull it off. We'll find out together. How about that? Said it right the first time. Great. I just don't remember what I said the first time now. I feel like we'll do that again at some point if you keep stopping by. Oh man. I wish there was a way to get my TikTok and my YouTube message streams to run together. Because right now I've got two different screens going, and people on YouTube can't see my TikTok, and people on TikTok can't see my YouTube. I'm sure there's a way out there, but it all costs money, and I don't have much of that to start off with here. I've been spending a lot of money on these drawings. I mean, I've gone through so much paper and pencils and everything else that I can't afford to spend any money on more technology. I did invest in this camera, which I'm pretty happy with the outcome of, and some streaming software. I invested some time in learning it, but that's about it. I'm not really seeing much of these shadows in the reference photo, but I'm adding them just because I know in the past that if I add shadows like this, it turns out. This inside tire is going to have, it's the ones that got me worried because there's just nothing in there to work with. Alright. Hoping to be done this one by noon, which is like an hour and a half from when I started drawing on here. Now, like I said, when I started, I did do the outline before I got on the stream. I always do. The outlines are just mind-numbing. I'm sitting here and doing things and figuring out where I'm at and all that, and it doesn't really make good video. So I very rarely do that. If you're interested in how I do it, I do a charcoal transfer method, which some people would say would be cheating because it's almost like tracing, but it's not. And even if it was tracing, I don't really care because that's my art. I can do what I want with it, right? But anyway, I use one of these charcoal pencils. I'll throw it in the back, charcoal the whole back of the drawing, and then trace over the top of it, and it gives me a good place to start. I'll do that if I'm doing it for just a quick drawing. If I need really super accurate detail, I still like to hand draw stuff, but it's less and less all the time, just because of the quantity that I go through. It's not as fun to hand draw everything, and then you end up with a subpar product when you're done after spending a lot more time on it. So this is the way I do it. I got some nose hairs itching me here today too, so those of y'all on my live stream that's seeing my nose keep grabbing at it. It's what's going on there. So I'm just going down through the bars of these tires. I'm just shading out what I've got in there a little bit, and then I come back and I fill in the middle. And that seems to give me the best end result, just kind of blending it all together like so. Exaggerating these bars on this tire did give a kind of a janky effect. I might have to come back and clean that up later. It's not the best tire I've ever drawn, I'll be honest. I think y'all know that though, because you can see it too. It's still pretty good. And all in all, I think it'll do good enough. I think the front tire is the one that's going to be really like popping out on this particular drawing. And this bald tire here, man, whew. Pretty bald. I just want to kind of blur these a little bit to get that. Like I said, I went a little too far on these bars. Happy with the rim, happy with the sidewall. The bars I'm getting happier with. There's that. Alright, so the tires are done. I'm going to move my paper over and see what I can hit next. I think I'll probably start on the side of the cab here. And maybe the exhaust pipe as I'm going. Let's see, what do I want? I'm going to start with that same pencil. Pencil does pretty good. It's a 2B pencil. If I need to add a little bit darker, I might just start. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do this deep shadow here. This is a 6B pencil right here. You can interchange them. You just put less pressure, and you know, if you have to go over it a few times with a lighter pencil. But I like these soft ones. They blend really well. But sometimes they just make it a little too dark. So I'm finding the two darkest spots here, which is of course under the fender. That's not a surprise. And inside the end of the exhaust pipe, pretty dark. And right under the cab, right here, it's my darkest spots. All right, another one right there. Let's see if there's any more dark spots. There's a line right here. It runs right by this exhaust pipe. How far does it go? It goes down pretty far. Down to here, and then across here. Alright. Let's see. Looking goose there, Clem. Good. That's alright. Good. Glad you're think I'm looking goose. Oh man. How you doing today, Bull Hauler? Alright, I think I'm done with this dark pencil for a little bit. There's a real dark spot right here, but it's not as dark. I'm going to keep this white pencil close by here too. Do that. Alright, how about you? I'm doing great. This is, I don't know, it's so much better to have a stress relief like this in my life doing these pictures. I was getting very angry with my job and just all in all, and having this nice thing I can come to and just, you know, get rid of some stress and forget about the world for a little bit while I'm putting a pencil on paper. It's a good feeling, I'll say that. Real good feeling. So you see it sometimes. I'm going to go with the white and then come over top with the dark colors. And that's just something I do sometimes to get the illusion of a little bit lighter gray. Kind of blend it in. Works pretty good most of the time. I only had it really mess me up like twice or 3 times. So. I want to really get these levers here. They stand out, but not much. I just want to make sure that they're in there. There's 3 levers that I can kind of see through here, and there's not much to them, but they're there. Probably go over them with white here in a minute. Now this section right here, this is where we're looking through the back glass of the tractor cab. So it's like really bright coming through there. So I'm putting a pretty heavy layer down of white. And then I'm actually going to go over top of these a little bit too. I want them gray, not black. Alright. And then I'm going to put a very, very light layer of gray down underneath of this. And then I'm going to cover it up with white. And that'll give the appearance of glass, hopefully, when I want to smudge it out. Just doing that. Very light. Come back across it with a little bit, not light, but not heavy layer of white. Notice it's a different shade there already. And I'm going to come across with an angle here, across the whole thing. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Trying not to smudge out this black line I got here. I can come back in later and fill it in, but I'm just trying to do my best not to kill that right off the bat. Alright, so there's that. This side of the mirror, there's a white reflection that I want to grab. A really dark line right here on the edge. The rest is gray. This mirror. Hi there, Diesel 1998. How you doing? I always love drawing, especially when I need to think about things. It's amazing to me just to completely shut your mind off for a little while. And you know, it takes me back to when I was a kid too. I drew so much when I was a kid. You wouldn't find me without a bunch of markers or crayons or something in my hand when I was a kid. Alright. Alright, I'm starting to see it here. Alright, I'm going to grab a blending stump. These, this one here I'm actually starting to get used to. I bought them, I think it was last Sunday or Saturday, or maybe it was one of the weekdays, I don't remember. I bought them and I wasn't really liking them because they were made from rice paper and they just didn't seem like they blended very good. But honestly, the more I work with them, I was using them wrong, I think. They're much better now. So I do like working with them now. Back in through here. A bit of a separation line here. I'm seeing, but not much. There it is. And I want to come back in here. Now this is that 6B pencil, the super dark one. Super soft. Works really good for certain things. This is one of them. Just getting that in there. Alright, I like it. I've got a lighter end of the blending stump here. I'm using for the window. With these, it really helps to keep a few streaks in it, just to make it look like glass. Those levers turned out really good in there. Like you can kind of see them in there. That's pretty cool. Love the way that turned out. There's that. A little bit of a shadow under there, but not much. Get that in and then blend it out a little bit. Very subtle. There's lack of detail that looks like detail is what makes these drawings big time. So. Alright, underneath the fender, I'll darken everything up a little bit. And blend it out around. Alright, so far so good. What do y'all think so far? Is it everything you dreamed it would be? Okay. I like what I got here. Let's pull this off and take a look at the whole thing there for a second. There's the whole thing. That's what we got. Alright. Moving over a little bit. I'm going to hit the front of the cab now, I think. I might have to get a new paper for my next stream. What do y'all think? It's getting kind of dark. So we're working in a weird spot here now. Move my reference drawing around a little bit. Done with the back of the cab. Give it 1 second, we'll be back in drawing. Now, looking at the front of the cab, what do we have that stands out dark to me? Well, what I see is right here under the lights. Right, there's a really dark spot. Right, I'm seeing the side of the light here. This is pretty dark. No light hitting there. Ironically, it's a light. And then right down the side of the cab, dark shadow here on black. I believe, if I remember correctly, is black. And then across here is a dark shadow with black. Feels very awkward to draw in this angle. Typically when I'm drawing, I move my board around quite a bit. But when I'm drawing live, I really can't. So it gets the pencil in some weird, awkward spots. And drawing in that direction is just awkward for me. Alright, into the front fender. Now somebody said, don't draw it with those fenders. Honestly, I'm drawing it with the fenders. I don't really care if people like them or not. I like them. Okay, what else we got right here? Let's take a look here. Oh, there's right here. I'm seeing some dark stuff. Go ahead and put that mirror brackets on there. There she is. And then do that. Windshield wiper, I guess. And then our steering wheel. It's going to show through here. Doesn't show everywhere though for some reason. It's weird. It's just right there. Alright. I can work with that. Get my lighter pencil here for a second. Alright. Shadow there. Across here there's a shadow. Front of the hood. Shadow cast down across this thing. And a reflection there in the hood. Can't tell what it is. What is that? I think that's... I don't know what that is. There's definitely a reflection right there. Try to capture that reflection as best we can. That's pretty dark there. Up here is going to be lighter, but it's still dark. Go ahead and fill that in. Some stuff going on here. We can come back to this if I miss anything, but we're getting closer in here. Yep. Everybody leave me? It's gotten quiet in this chat. Everybody doing all right? Alright, same thing I did with the other window. Putting down anything that's got the bright white in the back. To there. This goes across. I screwed that up a little bit. We'll fix it here in a minute. Sometimes when I'm looking off my reference photos, there's lines running through or something that I've got to remember to ignore. Right here, there's a telephone line that runs through here. And everything I have in me wants to draw that because I see it in the photo. But I'm not drawing the telephone line, so why would I draw that, right? careful not to hit this windshield wiper. I do not want that to look through. Very subtle light over top of that. Back with an angle. Fill in my headlights up here. Top of the cab lights, I mean, whatever they are, cab lights. Okay. Seeing that there, I think I screwed that up. I think it'll be alright. I think it'll look alright. Okay, I like that. Let me get this white in here quick. This goes the whole length. There's a little bit of a highlight right there. Same kind of right here. So let's get that in there. I like it. What am I missing? Phew. Looks here at the top of the cab. Maybe. And then for some added contrast, let's just do that. Alright, let's get our blender out. Start blending. Alright, I'm going to start here on the fender with the blender. You can start anywhere you want. This just happens to be the spot that called my name right now. I'll start there and start working around. Now, if you bear a little bit harder, you get a little bit darker. If you bear lighter, you get lighter. This is where you get your fine tune of control of the shading. Works pretty well. I'm back. I DM you on Instagram. That's great. Bull Hauler's still here. Glad to see. Are you the same Bull Hauler from over on TikTok that used to follow me on Jokes from the Bunker? Same guy? Hauling bulls across Texas. This windshield wiper. The more I smudge that out now, the better it'll turn out later. Alright, other end, the lighter end, across this glass. See if I can make it look like glass, a few streaks on it. If it doesn't look like glass with streaks, we'll just say that we used Windex on it. Yep, just joined to get a closer view. Awesome. Hey, did you see my joke this morning on TikTok? I made a joke about hauling heifers. right up your alley. You ain't seen it, you'll probably enjoy it. I think I've been shadow banned on the Jokes from the Bunker account. I don't get nowhere near the views I used to get. I'm seeing very few people that are not followers following me over there. I'm glad to see you over here, buddy. Alright, I need to separate this exhaust pipe. I'm debating now between white or dark, and I think I'm going to go white down this side. Yeah, maybe I'll do both. Let's do that. No, it's too late now not to do it, so let's do that. that. Looks good. There she goes. She's standing out pretty good. That's what I was going for. I guess I should probably hit this right front tire here. This one here could make or break this whole drawing. I'll say that. I say that about a lot of pieces, and it's true about a lot of pieces. So I'm going to sharpen up my pencil here quick. Pencils, if you sharpen them too much, you get a broken point. It's very, very difficult to sharpen these things. I'm finally maybe getting the hang of it. I actually went my last live, I did not break a pencil point in the sharpener. First time I've done that in a live. Believe it or not, seems like every single time I break a pencil point on my live. It's every time you break them, they jam up too. So progress, y'all. I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay. Now there's not much in these rims. Just going to put a few little highlights in that I'm seeing. And we'll go from there. Something here. What's there? That's a lighter shade all the way down here to here. Sometimes I'll put stuff in my reference, my drawing when I'm doing it that I don't see in the reference drawing later, and I confuse myself. Just what I did right here. So is the tractor floating? Well, maybe. I ain't done yet. Maybe. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully she doesn't look like she's floating. Thanks for the follow there, Chris Doopsy. 571. Appreciate that. Sometimes I'll do backgrounds just to provide a little bit extra so it doesn't look like it's floating. This one's not getting a background. These backgrounds take forever. That Oliver that I did, man, I thought that thing would never finish. It just took forever to finish that Oliver. It was like a 8-hour drawing, something like that. We had a tractor day at school a few weeks ago. Had a blast. My last day of high school, we did a tractor day. And at the time, my dad's tractor was not really in running shape. It would have ran, but my school was like 12 miles away. And at the time, he was having a pretty significant leak of gear oil in the transmission. And we thought if I drove it all the way to school with no gear oil, it might not be good for the thing. So we decided against it. So I took my wheel horse pulling tractor to tractor day, and it was cool because I unloaded it. I didn't drive it there. I took it on my truck and then unloaded it. And after I unloaded it, I started pulling wheelies with it because it loaded pretty heavy to the back, had good traction. So on blacktop, man, it would just pull wheelies like crazy. Well, we had in our school there was a lot that's full of the little rice burner cars and skaters and all those guys, and I decided to go down there and just start pulling wheelies. And I don't know, it was a highlight of my life, just watching those guys react to me pulling wheelies on a lawnmower. It's a lot of fun. The vice principal told me I had to load it back up and ruined all my fun, but I see what he was talking about. It probably wasn't the smartest thing ever. Then I got home and my brother was angry because I bent my wheelie bars on the thing significantly, like really, really bad. So I'm going to start a series on YouTube of stories with tractors. The first one I did was the story of my dad's tractor. Did that. Just just the picture of my dad's tractor. Did that the other day. And I've got that 1912 Holt crawler that I did. I'm going to tell the story of that tractor. I'm getting some more information from the owner of that tractor here soon. Excited for that. And I've always thought it would be one of the coolest things ever to do a YouTube channel talking about the history of tractors, and more specifically, not like the history of like the Farmall M, but the history of this Farmall M, and then show one and talk about it and the family it grew up with and all that. I just thought that would be one of the coolest things ever. So I'm planning on doing that soon. So if you like that, you can follow me on YouTube if you haven't already. Or subscribe, I think they call it over there. I'm still learning terminology. Maybe someday I'll be one of those YouTubers and I can learn all that stuff. But today's not that day. I think I do everything they tell you not to do on YouTube as far as to grow your channel. But that's okay because I enjoy it and that's all that really counts. I was supposed to take my grandpa's H. We couldn't get it running in time, so I just took my dad's 4250. Hey, that'll work. That'll work. I got some really good pictures of me pulling wheelies in that parking lot, too. Somebody took. I was so excited when those pictures came in. And, yep, I got proof. It happened. They're at my mom's place somewhere. Alright, that's turning out pretty good. I like it. Let's put some coal down on this front tire now. This is a different means of rolling coal. Some people roll it with the tractor. I roll it onto the tractor. Alright, same thing I did before. I'm just finding the light spots, dark spots. And then I'll fill in the middle with just a little bit of a gray. Go after that. See where it comes to. I like it. Bottom half of that. And all of this down here. Dark. Thanks for the likes over on TikTok, the folks that are sending them. Appreciate those. They go a long way to get me more people over there, so I appreciate when people do that. Unfortunately, I can't shout them all out because I want to draw this thing. I don't spend all the time shouting people out. I do appreciate each and every one of you. All right, let's go. Ooh-wee. Start in the tire. There's not much in these tires. Where's these bars at? They seem backwards. There it is. Found it. At this point, a lot of this I end up just doing off of memory instead of actually looking at the reference photo. It doesn't turn out quite as good unless I completely study the reference photo, but turns out good enough for this drawing that I'm doing today. I think the biggest thing here is just knowing when to stop drawing. Like I could focus forever in here and gain very little, and actually maybe take away some. Just figuring out when is enough, and going from there. I think enough's enough on that one. So grab my blender, start in the middle. Trying to chase the shapes around a little bit as I go. It doesn't always work out that way. And it doesn't always matter. But it does make a better end product if I'm able to. So just following the shape of the rim around. Trusting that what I put in there is gonna be good. And knowing what details to leave out. That's the secrets. That's all the secrets there are. It's my favorite part, is when you go from sketching to blending and things start popping off the screen, like, or off the page. Like, yep, that's a tractor. There it is. I sketched it out, and there it is. Turned out good. Thank you very much. I think so too. Turned out good enough. People will constantly say, oh, I love how much detail you put into these, but if you look closely, there's not a ton of detail. What you're seeing is your eye filling in the gaps. And eyes, I mean, our eyes are amazing with that. Like our brain fills in what our eyes doesn't see, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And, knowing what details to put in is the only thing you really need to know. Human brain will trick you into thinking the rest is good. So here for the bald front tires. They're actually more bald than what they are in real life. Alright, I think at this point I can get rid of my paper. Quick. It takes longer, the outline of the actual drawing. The actual drawing takes much longer. These outlines I can have done typically in less than an hour, no matter how detailed. Sometimes the shading will take 7 or 8 hours. It's ridiculous how long the shading can take. This particular one's not taking long because there's not a ton of detail in it. And I'm okay with that. If you've seen some of my ones with background, almost every time the background takes longer than the rest of the tractor. That Oliver 1755 that I did one day, the outline took about a half hour to do. The tractor took about 40 minutes to do, and the background took the rest of my day. Like, total, it was about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours on that drawing. So, okay, I'm going to readjust my reference photo here so I can get the front end. Y'all can't even see the reference photo; it's off screen. TikTok might be able to see it. It's nothing impressive. You don't have to worry about looking at that. All right, headlights. Headlights. Pretty bright. Well, they are lights. pretty bright on here. Alright, I'm seeing sun reflecting pretty badly right here, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a reflection. I'm seeing, what else am I seeing? I'm seeing sun up here too, which this whole front end is reflected at the top end. So this tire's definitely the attention getter. They are. They're the reason I drew it. So they got my attention. They definitely got my attention. I'm pretty happy with them so far. All right, what else we got? All right, so there's a shift here. Down here, the shadows are hitting. The light is separating these grates in the grill. And at the top, it's the dark that's separating it. So try to find that. I love drawing weights, front weights. And most of the time they turn out really good. And they're pretty easy. It really just revolves around some highlights in the right spot. And the rest falls into place. That there. Now this whole section down in here it really ends up just becoming a big kind of black mess. There's not a lot that goes on inside that. Find the separating point here. Grab my darker pencil. Try to do that in the most awkward way possible. And I sharpen my pencil here. What type of trucks do you draw? I don't draw trucks too often. I've drawn an old Jeep Gladiator from the 60s or 70s. I forget what that was. I drew a cab over Ford grain truck. I drew I think it's a 54 Chevrolet pickup years ago. I don't draw many trucks. I don't say I won't draw trucks. I draw a lot of stuff. Just don't draw many trucks. But I don't ever say I won't draw something except for three-wheelers and bad pictures. I say three-wheelers jokingly. It was a whole running joke on my TikTok channel. But I get a lot of ATVs, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, dune buggies, all types of stuff like that. And honestly, they don't interest me in drawing them. I have nothing against them. They just don't interest me to draw. I'd love to drive them. I just don't want to draw them, and I get tons of them. The other thing I get a ton of, and this is no offense to anybody if you sent it, I'm not like picking on you, making fun of you, but there are so many teenage boys that send me pictures of lawn mowers. Not like Cub Cadet or John Deere or anything like that, but like a mid-90s MTD that somehow has survived, even after all the abuse that it was given in its life. Some reason they take the hoods off these things and they send them to me. And I should start I should just start a page showing the ones I got. Because I got so many old junk lawnmowers. Not quite classic, not quite new, junk lawnmowers that teenage boys want me to draw for them. Not doing it. There's so many of them. It's hilarious. I keep getting them. And three-wheelers. So many three-wheelers. I get it. Three-wheelers are cool. I'm just not drawing them. No offense to anybody if you sent me one. I definitely look at them, but I would normally send a message back saying, yeah, I don't really draw those. I'm not doing ATVs right now. A lot of things I will draw. Won't draw those. What's your favorite garden tractor? My favorite I've ever had was a C160 wheel horse. I had one of those years ago, and we did tractor pulling. Of course, if you know anything about garden tractor pulling, the 16 horsepower Kohler kind of ruled that class, the single cylinder stock class, for a long time. And to find a C160, you know, with a 16 horsepower engine, that was like my dream for a long time. And I finally found one, and my brother and I restored it. I wouldn't say restored it. I can't say restored it. We fixed it up for pulling, and that was my favorite ever. And I love that tractor. I should have never sold it. I ended up selling it for a Cub Cadet 582, which I pulled for a couple years. Had fun with that too, but honestly, the C160 was just fun. Love that tractor. So I'd say that's my favorite still to this day. I actually have two lawn tractors in my garage right now. They're both John Deere 110s. The one was a 67. My wife's grandfather bought it brand new, and I have it out there. It's in really good shape. All original, not restored, but still in great shape. Got the original leather seat cover for it that went on the pan seat from when it came from the dealership. Pretty cool tractor. And then I've got a 72 110 John Deere. That one was owned by my great grandfather. He bought it new in '72. And those are my favorite two that I own currently. Yeah, the K341 engines were really amazing. They were hard to find 20 years ago. I can only imagine what they are now. The Magnums weren't quite the same. You know, they were close enough. You could drill out the hole for the points and turn a Magnum into a K341. Old school engine, but not quite the same. Okay, those weights turned out pretty good too. The last piece I have to do is this tire, and we're a few minutes ahead of schedule actually. I expected this to take till noon. We got another 10-15 minutes or so. Alright, start moving into that. I had a ton of fun tractor pulling with the lawnmowers. We did antique tractor pulling for years, and that was, you know, my great uncle got us started in it. My dad was huge into it, but me and my brothers, the ones that got started into the garden tractor pulling. I actually I started a few weeks before he did, building mine, and then he ended up building one right after it. And I built a wheel horse, B85, I think it was. And it was great. These tires, let's see. I have a John Deere LA, and my great grandfather bought it brand new in Moose Lake. So this John Deere 110, the first one I got, my wife's grandfather's. He bought that 110 new in Whitehall, John Deere in Whitehall, Maryland. Little dinky town. The town doesn't really even exist anymore. And it never kind of really did. It was just a crossroads with a John Deere dealership and a few places. But anyway, back in, I don't know what year it was, he bought a John Deere L. He called it John L. He named it John L. actually. And it was a John Deere L, not LA, but an original L. He had one of those. My wife's brother ended up inheriting that when we lost him 2 years ago. Him and his brother went together and bought this tractor when it was brand new. And then, I guess, two brothers. And then in the 60s or 70s, I think it was, he ended up buying his brothers out of it and bought the rest of it. So, love those John Deere L's. I'm not a John Deere guy. Never have been. We grew up on red tractors. My wife's family was a green green family. I was red. But, you know, that was a cool tractor. So. Oh, I've been there. Alright, that's cool. Alright, tractor is pretty close to done. Let's take a look back and see what else. I'm thinking I need a little bit extra in these headlights. I'm just gonna shade one side of them. I like that. And I'm gonna shade the bottom corner of this one. Yeah, those white headlights really shine, don't they? The other thing I want to do, there's a lot of light up here. I'll reiterate that there's light there at the top. Might ruin the whole thing because I don't really know if this is going to look good or not. I'll have a little bit of light shining across the top of this hood. I like that. All series are amazing. Good tractors, for sure. And that one's just kind of really special in the family. So I missed a spot right here. Y'all see that? Why didn't you tell me I missed a spot? This is going to be an easy spot to do, though, because there's not much here. Tough spot's going to get it to be not as dark as it is right now. Blend it out just a little into here. All this is kind of blending together. Okay, it's one good looking tractor. I agree. I like it. I'm going to put some shadow underneath of this thing, and then we'll be done. For the shadow, I'm just going to very lightly scribble some coal down here. Very light. Actually, with this one, I can go a little bit darker, I think. And I'm blending it into what's around it. Put the shadow up onto that tire as we go. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate everybody who's sending them to me. And then just going to take this and we're going to blend her out smooth. The main reason I do shadows, one, to make it look better, but two, gives me a place to sign. I like signing my stuff white. There's that. That's the last part we're going to do. I'm going to sharpen up my pencil good. I'm going to give it a good signature. Did you go to art school? Did you learn by yourself? I'm self-taught. I watched a few YouTube videos, but most of it just came from watching my tattoo artist draw tattoos for me. I'd go home and I'd try to do some of the methods he did for drawing tattoos on paper. And I've been drawing my whole life, but I never really got good at drawing until about 2012, give or take a year. And I was doing a lot back then, a lot more than I did now. And then, yeah, I didn't do any art school, so that's all I've got for the YouTube live stream. I'll hang it on TikTok for a few minutes, but I'm going to end my YouTube live stream here, and that's what we got. So that's the picture, YouTubers. Let's go ahead and end this stream. Catch y'all later. Thanks for joining me.